Alright guys, I'm in the fight car. Pardon the background noise. This video is the top 3 reasons why Jose Aldo will not get the rematch. I'm going to give them to you. Number one, I'll start from number three. Number three is the Reebok deal. He was very vocal about not wanting to be a part of that. His sponsorship deals, how much that would cost him. And number two, also vocal about fighter pay. So he wasn't getting paid enough. Also said he wasn't getting paid for the press conferences and for the training, the additional traveling and promoting the fight. He believed that fighters should be paid to fight and not to promote, and that he should be paid additional money. And now let me explain something to you. Dana White is the type of guy who doesn't forget stuff like that. Fighters like that have issues, Dana White doesn't want that. He doesn't want a type of money issue because he knows that if a veteran can complain about something and get it fixed, the younger fighters are going to want the same deal too, and other fighters behind them are going to want the same deal. So one thing about Dana White, when it comes to money, you better not cross him or you're going down. We've seen that with Randy Couture, and it's just in any organization. If you're a boss and an employee keep asking for a raise, then all of a sudden he gets a raise. Other employees are gonna want the raise, but in this case with Jose Aldo, he's earned it because of his performance. I believe he's pound for pound one of the best. But in the UFC, one of the other things that they're factoring is your ability to sell a fight and promote that fight. And truthfully, the fighters shouldn't be the ones selling and promoting the fight. The UFC should be the ones selling and promoting the fight. They are the promoters. The fighters should actually be the one training and showing up to fight. That's where this kind of paradigm is messed up, because the UFC only pays in the contract. If you read it, they'll only pay for the cost of the fighters to travel to these media events, but they'll not pay them for it. So they'll pay for your plane tickets, and then if when you travel, they give you a per diem of $50 per day to cover your meals and those type of things. Uh, that's in the contract. I gotta double check to see if that per diem is when you travel for a fight or when you travel for a press conference. But they'll only cover your meals and the cost of travel. They won't pay you for that. So the fighters, in a sense, are promoting the fights for themselves, not the advertising, not the media machine. The fighters doing the hardcore promoting, and then UFC piggyback on top of that with their advertisements and so forth and their highlights. So the number one reason why Jose Aldo will not get the rematch, absolutely, I believe, not get the rematch, completely won't get it, is because he does not speak English. Some of you will say, "Oh, that's a bit biased," but he doesn't speak English, and what that means is that by not speaking English, it's difficult for him to market himself or market fights and communicate with reporters if he's always communicating to a translator. He's been able to have the draw and charisma that he has through his ability to win fighters, to other people talking trash and beating highly skilled people. Conor McGregor is show and business. He communicates in English. He makes a whole heap of noise. He does the buffoonery. He does the song and the dance. Zuba bop ba, whatever it takes to get the crowd excited, to get them there and sell the fight. He'll do all that stuff, but he's also show because he's able to fight and when it comes to it and deliver. So if the UFC gives, think of it this way: if UFC gives Aldo a rematch, Aldo wins the rematch. The problem is now that the UFC would have is that, hey, if you move him to if you move Connor to a higher weight class, people's confidence in him are gonna be shaken. Nobody's gonna want to come out to see somebody who lost a rematch. In addition to that, the new champion, which is the old champion Aldo, doesn't speak English, so he's not gonna market himself. And Aldo is willing to do all the buffoonery stuff and the showboat and the song and dance. So you want a fighter who's marketable, who's gonna sell the fights himself, who's gonna do everything, who's gonna be more compliant. Aldo's been compliant with the UFC. Oh, I forgot to put this one reason in, and this is something that just crossed my mind as I'm talking. Aldo has pulled out of 5 title defense in the last couple of years because of injuries. Now, if you're a fighter who's done that, and in most recent UFC, event is match with Conor. He pulled out of the first one because of the broken rib. So Aldo sustained a lot of injuries that he's had to pull out of fights for in the past. And if you have a fighter who's injury prone and you're spending all this money for big events, and then the guy gets injured, it's a problem because you have to rush to fill the card with somebody else. No, it's kind of tricky to do that if they're expecting to see the champ fight and the champ is injured. Then you have to fill the card with somebody else. Then after that, whoever wins that fight will go on to fight the champ. It's kind of hard to keep doing that, especially if you're in a big promotion. So I think the number one reason is the English thing and the injuries thing. So that's my take on it, guys. Let me know what you think. But honestly, I believe Jose Aldo deserves an immediate rematch. Hands down, immediate rematch. Cain Velasquez got knocked out really quick, but he got a rematch. Ronda Rousey, she's getting a rematch. John Jones, he's getting an immediate, eligibility for a rematch once he's reinstated and he comes back. So why not Jose Aldo? So it's just a bias. It's the UFC saying, hey, we gotta make our money no matter what. So we'll see what happens though. Peace out.